What's good, YouTube? Aiden here. My camera's kind of broken, so I have to use my computer desktop, thing. So you can see all my random stuff in the background. Ignore that. But I want to make a little video today. Actually, two quick videos today. First video I got, if you guys don't follow me on Facebook, you should. It's Aiden Ethan Dowling, facebook.com/. But I got an email from a father who's pretty much, their son is transitioning to, their daughter is transitioning to a son. And they're just trying to gather some information and get some insight and stuff like that. So they asked me if I could make a video kind of, doing that. Pretty much making a video not for trans people, for people who are just supporters and stuff like that. So I thought it was an awesome idea. I wanted to make one. So here I am. I wrote a few things down. I don't want to make the video too long, so I don't want to bore you, but at the same time, I want, just some basic. We're just going to start with, really basic. Like, your BFF, your son, your daughter just told you they're transgender, and now you're alone, they're not there, and you're kind of processing it. So, some things to take into consideration. So the first thing you should definitely do is educate yourself alone and educate yourself with that specific trans person that came out to you or is, whoever, whatever relationship they may be. Cousin, nephew, son, daughter, whatever. So you want to educate yourself alone. You want to go online, you want to look at, you want to Google, my son is transitioning, or transgender, get familiar with just the terminology of transgender, which in the most basic term is just, a biological male or female identifying as the opposite gender, okay? So if you're a female, you're biologically a female, the doctor says, it's a girl, but you identify as a male, then you're an F to M, which is a trans male, a female to male. If you're born a boy, and the doctor says, it's a boy, and then you want to be a girl, then you are a trans woman who is transitioning, who is male to female, okay? Basics. But you want to do your own research. Go online. There's tons of stories out there of fathers, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins, stepmothers, all types of stories from relatives of transgender people or friends, family. You can definitely find a support group or something like that online these days. So you want to educate yourself alone so that you can really X and find out and X. Okay, I'll get to that later. So you want to educate yourself alone, and then you want to educate yourself with that trans person because there's so many spectrum. Is that trans person, are they straight? Are they gay? Are they bisexual? Are they, what is transgender to them? Does that mean that, trans is, they're going to go stealth? Are they going to be open as trans? Are they going to be a feminine trans? What is trans to them? Does trans mean being, a super girly girl and wearing purses and only liking pink? Okay. Or is trans more to them just identifying as a girl, but still liking to go hunting and still doing the normal things that they were doing pre-transition, but now they just want to identify as a female? Okay, so people have different ideas as to what the transition spectrum is. So you have to figure out, what, how you can relate to transitioning, which would be your alone questions, and then how you can understand what this person idea of transition is, and you can talk to them and have their idea. So when I was saying alone before, it's like, save your really inappropriate questions for Google. You know what I mean? Google is the place you can go and ask those really creative questions like, how many drops of arsenic does it take to kill someone, right? And then you can ask those really weird questions like, how do you shave your armpit with no hands, okay? Because I'm sure somebody has already asked that question. So if you ask, oh, well, what does a trans man's bottom look like? Google it. Don't ask someone. Google it. Or any inappropriate question like that. Oh, well, can they use my bathroom? Google it. Ask those questions to Google. Don't go and make a trans person, especially if they just came out to you, feel really uncomfortable and ask really inappropriate questions that you wouldn't ask your biological. And when I say biological, that means born as a male or female and identifies as that given gender at birth. So if you ask a biological, the hell was I even saying? Yeah, you wouldn't ask a biological person an inappropriate question, so don't ask a trans person that. Ask Google. Google's great. Google doesn't get offended. They have a whole bunch of knowledge. Sometimes they lead you in the right direction. Sometimes they have no idea what you're talking about. It's great. It's a great resource. So yeah, education is just a big deal. Once you educate yourself, you're going to realize that you really do actually understand what transgender is, and what you're actually going to really struggle with is the emotional aspect of it, and not so much, well, I don't understand what you mean by you want to be trans and you want to be called a he or a she, okay? That's a really basic information. So if you don't understand it, it means if they want to be called a he, that means they want to be called a he. If they want to be called a she, that means they want to be called a she. It's pretty basic. It's the people who don't understand it's the people that can't just nod and smile that don't get it. It's the people that go like, but no, but if you were born a girl, then you'll always be a girl. And it's like, who cares what you think? If you think I'm always going to be a girl, great. Then in your eyes, I'm always going to be a girl. I don't really care what you think, okay? All I want you to do is respect me. So don't call me a she. Even if you swear up and down, oh, that's a girl, that's a girl. It says it's a guy, but it's really just a girl. I don't care what you think. But you better call me Aiden. You better say he. You better use the right pronouns all the time. Better not make any stupid jokes. You know what I mean? I don't really care what you think I am. Okay, the point is you want to respect. You don't care what I think you are. You don't care if I think you're a hypocrite or you're a bigot or you're racist, right? It doesn't matter if I said, oh, you're racist. You'd be like, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I got friends. I got cousins. You know what I mean? Like, you would go off, right? It's the same concept. Like, you shouldn't care what I think as long as I don't treat you like a racist. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really basic, but it's hard to grasp. I do get the concept. Sometimes in the beginning of someone's transition, you need to nod and smile, figure out what questions you want to ask, and then ask the inappropriate ones to Google and ask the non-inappropriate ones to your friend or daughter or whatever. And so that's like the education aspect of it. And then the other little thing I want to just talk about real quick is the he, she pronouns. Because I get a lot of questions. Oh, well, it's really hard for me to change pronouns for my son or my daughter. Or, oh, my son, well, I guess now it's my daughter. I understand the concept of changing pronouns and names. If you can't change the pronoun, if it really hurts for you to call your son a she, then just say that until you get comfortable with saying she. Because I bet you they're gonna like they a lot better than he. If you say, oh, he's over there, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, I'm not a he, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And like, they're gonna get mad at you, right? But if you say, oh, they're over there, at least you can explain to them, listen, my son who's transitioning to a woman, okay? It's really hard for me to call you Rebecca. It's really hard for me to call you Rebecca. It's even harder for me, it's hard for me to call you she, it's even harder for me to call you Rebecca. I'm going to call you they just till I can get comfortable. You know what I mean? And the trans person should respect you on some level. On some level. Now, there's all different levels, there's different kinds of mindsets. Some people are like, I say this and that goes and I don't care what you say. That's just the kind of person they are. And I think you'll know the kind of people you're dealing with. You know what I mean? You'll know if like, oh, you can't, don't ask Sean that question because he'll flip out. You know what I mean? Everybody knows kind of the people that they're involved with because they're friends or family or relatives or whatever. So just, keep that in mind. Remind them that you're transitioning too. You're transitioning them in your brain. You know what I mean? It's a transition for both people involved. So I didn't want to make this video too long. If you guys have any other questions or you want me to make other specific topics on, so I do have a lot of people who are not transgender who do watch my channel. So if you want to watch, if you want to see anything like, or hear about any questions you have, feel free to leave them below. I'm going to try to start answering comments and stuff like that a little bit more on my videos. So, alright guys, that's it. That's all the video. If you have any other questions, let me know. Peace!